What happens when you put a Broncos, Ravens, Chargers, Packers, and Dolphins fan in one room? You get quarterback rankings from 32-1 for every starter for the 2022 NFL season. Last year when we did this exercise, Patrick Mahomes finished 1, Andy Dalton finished last, and there were some surprises in between. And this year there are some more controversial choices along with some new faces making the rankings. There were a lot of factors that went into these rankings. And the best part about it is everyone has an opinion and football is back. So if you disagree, if you agree, let us know in the comments. Call us dumb, call us smart, call us whatever you want. We're here for all of the smoke. We just want to have fun talking football. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go from worst to first with number 32.
BRISSETT, the fake, and he's in! Touchdown!
Say something nice about Jacoby.
Jacoby Brissett.
I gotta say something nice about Jacoby Brissett.
I mean, I'll say this about Jacoby. If I am a football team, I'm thrilled that he's my backup.
He's a good backup.
At the end of the day, as an NFL quarterback, regardless of whether you're number 32 or number 1, you're playing at the elite level of football.
I don't think Jacoby Brissett's the worst. I think it's Geno Smith. Jacoby Brissett sucks, but he doesn't suck the most.
Geno Smith is perfect!
Make no mistake about it though, Geno showed some stuff last year with Russell Wilson hurt.
He didn't do well with the Jets. Doesn't have a lot to work with in Seattle. This is a pretty fair ranking for Geno Smith.
I'm in on the Geno train.
He keeps again! Touchdown, Trubisky! What a night for number 10!
I've seen a lot of Mitch Trubisky as a Packers fan, and every game I go into it, I am so excited for my defense to get a couple picks.
Mitch Trubisky comes from a weird situation because there are a lot of expectations in Chicago, and he's had a lot of pressure on himself as a high draft pick and considering where that franchise has gone.
So, I mean, he's 30th because of what he's done in the past, but there is a chance for him this year to actually move up that ranking.
Trubisky's interesting in Pittsburgh because they have such a good defense where it's like, if they just have someone who can do the job, I think they'll win games.
You probably can talk yourself into winning with Mitch Trubisky and maybe sneaking into the playoffs and not being able to do that with Kenny Pickett, who's a rookie and who still has a long way to go. So if my money is on anything, it might be Pickett not starting this season because I think they're going to want to prioritize winning, and that's the culture they built in Pittsburgh, and rightly so.
10-5 touchdown, Mariota! 87-yard run!
If Marcus Mariota was a song, what song would he be? I think it'd be Comeback by the Foo Fighters. It's this long, like 7-minute song that ultimately ends with Dave Grohl just singing, I will come back. This is Mariota's comeback story. He's still got some juice in him. I believe in him. Let's go, Marcus.
Mills, he's looking deep down the field again. He's got a man and a touchdown! What a throw by Davis Mills.
The vibes in the office weren't great when I came in this morning and everybody caught wind of the fact that I had Davis Mills at 32.
Davis Mills is not the 28th worst quarterback in the NFL. Davis Mills needs some more respect. This is way too low.
I played football, basketball, and baseball growing up. And got a black belt in Choi Kwon Do at a young age. What? A little bit of everything.
This one's ridiculous to me, okay? Davis Mills should be higher, and the fact that Pigs had him as the worst quarterback that's a starter in the league is just ridiculous.
Yes, I will tell you, I do have him rated fairly low, but I think he has a ton of room for upside.
If he was a first-round pick last year, he'd be getting way more hype. With what he had in Houston, he did a really good job last year. So we need to give Davis Mills a little bit more respect. He was higher on my list.
Here they come! Oh! He found the escape hatch! Look at Wentz! Gallop downfield and get the first down!
Every time Carson Wentz has the ball in his hands, it's touchdown or bust, it seems like. And it's a very reckless way to play the position. Sometimes it works, and a lot of times with the Colts last year it didn't.
I feel like you could just cut together a pack of any game where he'll throw an absolute laser and look like he's about to dice up a defense. And then the next play, he just throws the dumbest pick.
There were a lot of impressive Carson Wentz turnovers last year, but the one that takes the cake is the left-handed interception.
It's questionable decision making, but Carson's fine.
A lot of time, directing traffic, gonna go deep, has a man deep, it is caught for the touchdown!
But I don't really care how much dog he has in him until he can complete a pass or two.
It's tough for young quarterbacks to call them a bust too early because you don't really know where they'll be in a couple of years, and I don't think it's right to call him a bust yet.
I don't know about bust, but I don't think he will ever get to the level where he can compete with the top teams in that division.
I am totally out on Zach Wilson, and I would put him even lower.
On 4th and 5, Jones steps up, takes off, he's in!
How would you describe Daniel Jones to someone that's never seen Daniel Jones play before?
I would describe Daniel Jones as Peyton Manning if Peyton Manning couldn't run, wasn't accurate.
Gotcha. This is such an interesting situation for Daniel Jones, obviously.
He gets the right pieces around him in New York, and Saquon will definitely help him.
I think that Daniel Jones might be a guy to climb up this ranking at year end.
Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown.
I like Justin Fields at 24. I don't know if it's going to look better than last year, but what I do know is I believe in Justin Fields' talent.
If he just has like a decent year, I wouldn't be mad at Justin Fields.
Justin Fields is going to show a lot this season as far as the accuracy goes and just being given a better chance to succeed, which he wasn't given at all under Matt Nagy.
Goff on first down. Wow! Touchdown!
I'm Jared Goff, and Usher the Prophet. That's a Mike Stud lyric.
I'm actually pretty happy with this ranking. I think it was pretty much around where I ranked Goff.
I think he's an okay quarterback. Again, that middle of the tier range, right? He's not really one of the top 10 worst quarterbacks, but he's not top 10 of the best. So I think he's somewhere in the middle.
I like what the Lions are doing this year. I think Goff's a good guy to sort of enter this team into their next chapter.
On second down, aired out. He's got it. Touchdown. Another for Winston.
That's fair. I think there's going to be a couple players ahead of him on this list that I don't really understand.
So I was a guy in these rankings who basically absolutely sewered Jameis Winston.
Jameis can sling it. He just also can sling it to the wrong team sometimes.
You know, one thing my trainer, he told me, he said, what did he say? He just told us to be prepared.
Even though he's not one of the top 10 quarterbacks, top 15 quarterbacks, we all know he might be top 3 in terms of sheer entertainment value. One of the funniest guys to watch in the NFL.
As a motivational speaker, I rank him highly.
What are your shoulders, your hips? You know what I'm saying? You got your elbows. What are your elbows? Your knees, right?
As a quarterback overall, I rank him poorly.
2nd and 6. Mayfield lofts it. Touchdown! Perfectly thrown.
Baker's an interesting one.
He's getting such a terrible outlook because of that injured season where the Browns just kept throwing him out there. But I think we need to give him a little bit benefit of the doubt.
2 years ago, he had the Browns competing deep into the playoffs. He was the first quarterback to take them there in forever. I think he's a lot better than people give him credit for.
I think if he's healthy, we've seen what he can do. He's definitely talented. He can make throws. He can lead a team to the playoffs. I'm a Baker fan.
Lance, first pass, and it's a touchdown. Trey Lance's first career NFL touchdown pass.
Everyone's so high on Trey Lance right now.
I'd put him even higher, to be honest.
You know in Pokemon, that move where you couldn't attack because you were infatuated with the other Pokemon? That's how I feel about Trey Lance. I can't see anything wrong with him, despite the fact that like he only started a couple games last year.
I think he's got all the tools, like 100%.
Any of these guys who have the ability to run the football, you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be super precise because you just bring an extra element.
He can throw the ball and make explosive plays happen, and that's something Jimmy Garoppolo just couldn't do. So I think it's an added element to this offense, and it could be the difference between them being a Super Bowl team and losing in the playoffs like they did last year.
He has everything going for him. So if he's actually as good as people say he is, he could 100% be a top 10 quarterback.
I think if we're doing this list next year, we'd probably be ranking him in the top 15 easily, maybe the top 12 in that 12th spot.
I could actually see him just outside of the top 10. It wouldn't surprise me if he's in the top 10 and only going to get better from there.
3rd and 1. Tannehill with a fake, keeps it himself. Tannehill all the way to the end zone.
Tannehill is so uninspiring as a quarterback. I could see him getting replaced for Malik Willis if the team is struggling.
He's the definition of average, Ryan Tannehill.
If he was a car, what car would you describe him as?
Definitely an SUV, maybe something family-sized.
I think he's like, you know, the classic Honda Civic. If you're trying to get there fast, if you're trying to get there flashy, it's not gonna happen.
Ever touch my minivan again, you are gonna be very sorry, brother.
And touchdown pass, Aguilar from the rookie Mac Jones. his first NFL touchdown pass.
Mac Jones, I think, is going to fall into the same New England Patriots effect that Tom Brady fell into, and that's taking a fairly good quarterback and turning them into an elite talent.
I think he's the perfect Patriot quarterback.
I don't think he's the most talented quarterback on this list, but I think he's good enough that he'll put himself in a good spot for years to come.
I think he has a bright future in this league, but he definitely doesn't have the ceiling of some of the league's best.
Over under 0.5 gritties after touchdowns this season for Mac Jones.
Well, if it's me, it's definitely the over, because we all know I love hitting the gritty.
If I ever have to see that again, there's going to be problems. So I'm going to bet the under just because I never want to see that ever happen.
Third and goal, high snap. Lawrence pulled it down and throws to the end zone to Marvin Jones. Did he come down, feet in bounds? He did.
What are you supposed to do about Trevor Lawrence after his rookie season? How do you rank him?
He was probably put in the worst position of a top pick I can remember in a long time.
He still has a lack of wide receiving options in Jacksonville. So to put him at 17 with what we've seen from him so far is really difficult. And obviously you go to that upside that you saw in college and you're like, yeah, Trevor Lawrence is going to be an NFL guy. We're just still waiting for that glimpse.
Let's remember, Peyton Manning threw the most interceptions of a rookie in NFL history, and his career turned out to be pretty good. This guy's not been compared to Peyton Manning, but he's as clean of a prospect as you can remember coming out since Andrew Luck.
Tua eluding the pressure and going deep down the sideline. He has a man open and he's got it. 10-5. He's ruled a touchdown.
I actually had Tua at 19.
He's lying!
I think 16 is literally perfect for Tua.
Tua's the guy, let me tell you that. He's the guy.
If he takes a step, he could be good.
I think he has all the tools to succeed in this league. Obviously, Tyreek Hill's been going off about how accurate he is.
Zach Wilson is a dog, but I'd rather play with the most accurate quarterback in the NFL, dog.
Next year, he's going to be a lot higher than this. And by the end of the season, all the noise about Tua, the apologies better be as loud as the disrespect has been.
Ryan steps up, and now he throws, end zone, touchdown!
Matt Ryan is like Tannehill, but slightly better.
I'm a Matt Ryan fan. I like him at 15.
If you're Matt Ryan and you're the Colts, I think this is a great partnership, and I see them as a playoff team with Ryan at the helm.
Hurts keeps, Hurts cuts, Hurts has the first down, and Jalen Hurts might have just put it away for the Eagles. Touchdown!
This is what happens when you let Eric.
I think this is literally perfect for Jalen Hurts.
Higgs.
I love all of quarterbacks out of Alabama.
And I don't know who else make these rankings because to me, that's just way too high for Jalen Hurts.
I think he's shown that he can be mobile. He can throw the ball. Like he's not the most inaccurate quarterback in the world.
What has he shown in this league to be ahead of his two Alabama counterparts, Mac Jones and Tua? I would probably put him below both of those guys. He was lower on my list.
Jalen Hurts was a superhero. What superhero would he be?
Ooh.
I kind of think he might be Thor in a way where it's like he's got his one super strength, which is just this break glass in case of emergency strength that Thor has with his hammer, and it rarely lets him down, and that's his running ability.
Every time I threw it, it would always come back to me.
Sounds like you had a pretty special and intimate relationship with this hammer.
I'm going to say the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four because he can heat up, and when he does, he's dangerous.
I think he would be the Flash because he's pretty elusive on the field.
Cousins throws, passes, caught for the win!
Kirk Cousins is everybody's favorite middle-of-the-pack quarterback. I'm not sure there's anybody who wouldn't rate Kirk Cousins within the 12th to 18th spot in their quarterback rankings.
Boring but productive, and he could have a career year this year, and it wouldn't surprise anyone.
He's always somewhere in the middle, but he's always sort of just there being good for the Vikings, and you gotta love that if you're a Vikings fan.
Here's Carr. Take a shot, why wouldn't you? And it is caught, and it is a touchdown. At least the celebration is on.
I feel like this is just where Derek Carr is just 12. That's where Derek Carr's little world exists. You have your top 10 quarterbacks, then you have your 15 to 25 quarterbacks, and then right in the middle there, you got your Derek Carrs, your Kirk Cousins, like right in there.
As a Chargers fan, it's difficult to even talk about Derek Carr and give him his props because of what they did to us in the final game of the season last year. But at the end of the day, Derek Carr is a pretty good quarterback for a pretty good team.
And Murray, how about that? Touchdown, Arizona, easy.
I like Kyler personally. I think he's incredible arm, incredible athlete.
He is just so fast. His running ability is out of this world. There's no quarterback in the league that can run like he does and probably as efficiently as he does.
The one knock on him is that when, you know, the magnifying glass is down on him in the big games, I see his play tends to get taken down a notch. I think that's something he needs to improve on going forward, but obviously deservedly so is in what I would call the elite quarterback class.
Throws it down the field, it's caught at the 10, and this game is over! The Cowboys win it!
Dak Prescott plays for the one football team that has the most eyeballs on them year in and year out. So if there's anybody who really needs to live up to expectations, it's him. And last year, coming off of that major injury, I think he pretty much met them, but this is his time to really exceed them.
I know a lot of people are not sold on Dak Prescott in the top 10, but I truly believe that Dak is a top 10 guy.
Nothing really bad to say about Dak Prescott. He's really talented, really good quarterback, really good leader on a really good team.
Wilson toward the end zone. It is caught!
Broncos country.
Let's ride.
Let's ride. Let's ride.
Broncos country. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's ride. Broncos country. Let's ride.
Russ has been an MVP candidate a couple years ago. He was hurt last season. New system.
I feel like he's rejuvenated. He was in Seattle for the entirety of his career, and now he's in a new place with new people around him, new ideas. I think Russ is going to remind everyone this year that he's probably closer to a top 5 quarterback. He's going to put up some big numbers, and I'm not just saying that because I'm excited. Thank you for coming to Denver, Russ.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
Broncos should look fun this year. I think just around the top 10 is perfect for us.
3rd down and 1. Stafford, end zone caught. Got it. Touchdown Rams.
One word to describe Matthew Stafford: otherworldly.
Stafford at 8 is, I think, justified now that he's won in the big games.
Between the no-look passes in the Super Bowl, the deep balls, the accuracy, like, yes, you can question some of that decision-making, and we saw some of it down the stretch in the year, but Matthew Stafford is one of the most insane throwers of the football we've ever seen in the sport.
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. A lot of people like to say Matthew Stafford's a Hall of Famer. To me, Hall of very good, but still got a number of years left to help improve that legacy. But definitely deserves to be number 8.
It's a 2nd down and 3. Jackson takes it himself. Look at him dart back and forth. Oh! He broke his ankles. Now he's got an entourage, and he's got a touchdown. He is Houdini.
People seem to think Ravens fans think Lamar is a top 5 quarterback, which I'm fine with saying. Lamar is not at a top 5 quarterback level right now.
He was a little lower on my list, but I still think he belongs here.
And I think people tend to undervalue his arm strength, his accuracy, his throwing ability.
To say that he can't throw the ball is the stupidest narrative I've heard ever.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Lamar takes a lot of blame, but like, he's not a completely inaccurate passer. He's a unicorn of a player. Like, you have to game plan for him completely different than anyone else in the NFL.
One of my favorite players to watch on Sunday, just because it's just pure excitement every time he drops back there. Always a threat to score on the field. So I'm happy with this ranking.
There are a lot of naysayers this year, but he's going into a contract year, and that video that he had on the sidelines in the preseason game, iced out with the glasses on, that is the perfect album cover for what I'm calling contract year, revenge season. Because that's what it is for Lamar Jackson.
He's being chased, and Burrow dives, touchdown!
Joey Burr.
Joe Cool.
Joe Shiesty.
Joey B.
Just call me Joe.
His line sucked last year, and he's still they found a way to win games while allowing 11 sacks.
Everyone can talk about how bad the offensive line was last year, and he still had success, which is part of the reason why he's moved so high up, is because it felt like he was getting kind of thrown under the bus by his team. But this year now, with an upgraded offensive line, how can you not put Joe Burrow even higher up than what we saw? He's a Super Bowl guy now. He's been there, done that. He's got playoff experience. I'm excited to see what Burrow can do now with this new and improved offensive line and building towards another Super Bowl appearance.
He'll probably be a top 3 quarterback at some point. The same way we look at the top 3 right now, I think Joe Burrow will slot himself in within the next 5 years.
Brady looking the other way. Brady going deep down the right sideline for Evans. He makes the catch. He's in for the score.
Tommy's getting old.
Hi there, young people. A nice day today.
So, you like kicking butts, do ya? Well, we'll show you, old man!
We're underrating Tom Brady, that's for sure.
I had Tom Brady a little lower.
I think 5 is fair. But also, I mean, look at his numbers last year.
He's been dominating the league his entire life, so the fact that he's still a top 5 quarterback is pretty amazing.
He was arguably the MVP of the league last year, and he's coming in at 5, behind 3 guys that I think we all just like better because they're younger and we're sick and tired of Tom Brady being good. And to be fair, I ranked him number 5 because I'm sick and tired of Tom Brady being good.
He just doesn't seem to age, which is very, very annoying if you grew up being a Dolphins fan, because I thought his reign was done 10 years ago and he's still here. I think 5 might be a little bit disrespectful just because I think he should maybe be 1 spot higher.
I'm probably going to look back and be like, yeah, that was really stupid. So putting him at 5, just out of those tip-top guys is crazy still when he's, you know, doing what he is in the mid-40s.
Herbert stops, launches deep. Jalen Guyton, he's got it! Touchdown Chargers! What a throw!
That's my guy, Justin Herbert.
It's tough for me to sit here and talk about how good Justin Herbert is when my Dolphins passed on him.
I'll be the first to say, when he was first drafted, there were a lot of question marks around him.
Justin Herbert. Quarterback.
Why?
Oregon. That's not the one I wanted.
But he has far exceeded expectations as a leader, as a quarterback, as a teammate.
I think Herbert's great. He's big, he's got the arm, he's got the speed. Like, he's 100% got the talent with him.
I was tempted to put him ahead of Aaron Rodgers, but I didn't because Rodgers has won back-to-back MVPs. That's the only reason why.
But if you just watch one throw, you know that this guy's the real deal.
The image that's just ingrained in my brain is watching that game against the Raiders, and every 4th down seemed like a 4th and 10 or a 4th and 8+, and he was just tossing darts. I seriously don't know how many quarterbacks could do that.
To someone who's never seen him play before, I would describe him as simply a superhero. He literally does everything.
Have you ever seen a horse put on football pads and be able to throw the ball 75 yards?
One of my favorite football players of all time, and he's only going into year 3.
Rodgers snaps it quick. Pressure coming. Pumps and runs. Aaron Rodgers is inside the pylon. Touchdown Packers.
Aaron Rodgers is probably my favorite quarterback of all time.
Aaron Rodgers, back-to-back MVPs, and he falls to 3.
Number 3 is absolute disrespect.
This is like the most I've ever agreed with a list that we've compiled together.
How can you doubt a man coming off an off-season of ayahuasca?
This is another guy, doesn't seem like age is really catching up to him. He just continues year in and year out having spectacular seasons.
Maybe we're having him a little bit underrated.
It's crazy to me that people are putting Mahomes over Rodgers after the years they had, where Mahomes had probably one of his worst career years, and Rodgers still at the tail end of his career is still putting up MVP type numbers.
In my opinion, the most talented quarterback of all time.
Everyone's gonna point at the playoff success and be like, yeah, another 1st-round exit for my man, but he's gonna get the team to the playoffs with a crazy record, and he's just gonna look so good doing it, throwing those crazy impossible passes that only he can make.
We'll see what hallucinogenic drug he does this year that helps him find his way.
Allen keeps it, pumps, runs, breaks the plane. Touchdown Buffalo.
Josh Allen at number 2. You can make the case he's number 1.
It pains me to say it because Chris Hine will never stop talking about it.
Eric is a man of great taste, and he and I put Josh Allen number 1, and I think it's just because of that dual threat that you don't see.
Josh Allen is so unique of a player.
As much as Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback, and we know he's very mobile and can make throws on the run, we have literally seen Josh Allen hurdle guys on a football field.
His accuracy from year 1 to where he is today has just improved like crazy.
He can throw the ball every bit as good as Patrick Mahomes can, and he can run better.
That Patriots playoff win, how he diced them up, it was so impressive considering he did that to a Bill Belichick defense, and he did it in every way that makes him this supernova unicorn once-in-a-lifetime guy.
What more can you ask for as an offensive playmaker than a guy who can sling it all the way down the field with precision and also just run over defensive backs in the open field?
He's just the conductor of this symphony that is the Buffalo Bills offense that probably would have been in the Super Bowl had they won a coin toss.
So to me, if we're talking just pure player, like no situation around them, who do I want as my quarterback? It's Josh Allen.
We've seen him climb to the top, and now it's Josh Allen time, baby.
Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now.
As Long who tried to make a diving tip, that Mahomes who tiptoes inside the 10, still knocked out. Oh, what a run! Out of this world!
This is where Mahomes deserves to be.
Guy just goes to AFC Championship games, wins most of them.
I wouldn't put Mahomes 1, but I can obviously see the appeal.
If you've had him in fantasy, you know how great he's been. If you've watched any of his highlights or any of his games, you know how talented he is.
What he's done in the preseason is just reminding everybody that he is still that guy. He is that guy.
He's one of those guys who, you know, every single week you'll see the clip and it says only Mahomes can make this throw.
He is quite literally one of the best quarterbacks we'll ever see in our lifetime.
I don't care what anybody says about last year's playoff exit or the Super Bowl beatdown he took the year before. If we're strictly talking quarterbacks, he's the most talented, he's the most electric, he's the face of the league.
I think this season, especially without Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes is going to remind the world that he is the best quarterback in football because he's got talent like no one else in this league has.
Got to put respect where respect is. We'll see how he is without Tyreek.
I would probably put him 3rd, to be honest with you, behind Allen and Rodgers, but it's like a 1A, 1B, 1C. All of those answers are correct.
If I were to start a team and I had 32 options, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes every single time as my quarterback. He is the best quarterback in the NFL.
All right, so what did you think of our rankings? There were some safe ones, there were some hot takes, there was everything in between. But at the end of the day, we've got a complete list of starters from worst to first in the NFL, and we know you're not going to agree on them. So let us know your list in the comments below.